Welcome to the Triarius Wargaming Show, first episode of 2023. And in this episode, I'm going to be kind of going over my hobby goals for the next basically 5 months or so. What I want to get up to. So, we got our projects to complete between January and June. So, first thing I'm going to take you through cocking up Warhammer 40k, 2 early Hundred Years War, 3 early and middle Imperial Romans, 4 World War II, 5 Barbarians, and then some health and fitness stuff. So, with this, basically the theme for the first months here was basically wrapping up old projects. With the Warhammer stuff is kind of new, so I'll take you through that. So, first project, cocking up Warhammer 40k. So, I've kind of been interested in getting into 40k for a while, and I just finally snapped at the end of last year and bought into it. But I'm not really a huge fan of the rules, the 40k rules. They're just not really for me. So, what I kind of got into is I found basically a conversion from into the chain of command system by Two Fat Lardies. So I have gone totally insane, but my goal is to build two armies for basically Warhammer 40k chain of command. So I'm doing Space Wolves and the Orcs. So I'm planning on doing, as soon as I get my Space Wolves finished, I'll do a full video on that army. But this is some of the stuff I've got done so far. I've got Blood Claws, the Walker thing, the Grey Hunters or the Intercessors, whatever you want to call them. So I got about 10 of these guys done, 5 of these guys done. Conversion heavy army, so lots of sculpting bits, that kind of stuff. So these are kind of what the rules look like for the chain of command factions. There's a lot more than this. This is just kind of a sample, but this is actually for the Horus Heresy era. I'm doing the 40k era, so 10,000 years in the future, but not really. I'm playing kind of fast and loose with it, so I'm kind of doing a mix of the tactical platoon and the assault platoon. So it's going to be kind of like a mix of both for the Space Marines. And as I kind of expand the collection over the years, I'm sure I'll have platoons specific of each one. The orcs, as much as I would love to do 100 orcs, my pockets are not that deep for the Warhammer stuff. I don't think it'd be too hard to actually paint 100 of them, but buying them is the real problem. So basically, we're going to be sticking to this warband, which has around like 40 something orcs in it, rather than the full 100. So what do I need to do before June? Basically, I want to have a game of this maybe on my birthday or my birthday week in May. So what we got to do? Yeah, so I'm saying January to June. Really, I mean to May 26th, my birthday. What I want to have to get done before my birthday on May 26th. But for Space Wolves, I got to convert and paint 5 more Blood Claws. So those are mostly assembled, but they need to be green stuffed up like these ones were. And then I've got another 10 jump pack guys that I need to actually assemble them, totally convert them, everything like that. So about 15 more Space Marines to do for this first phase of the army. The Orcs basically got it all. So I've got the start collecting box. I need to get, I'm probably, this is stuff I'm kind of interested in. I'm probably going to get 2 boxes of boys and then maybe the knobs box, and that will give me the 40 that I need, and then there's some vehicles and stuff in the start collecting box. So my goal is to kind of finish the Space Marines in January, get the orcs done for February. So second project, we've got the early 100 Years War, which I actually started basically last January, December. So it's basically a year later. So I got a lot of these painted, but I just have some crossbowmen and spearmen to get done, and mainly just banners and basing. And then we can call this project done, which will be great to have that fully completed. Most of it is painted. It's just really the banners, the basing is where I stalled out on, and a few more spearmen and crossbowmen. And then we are all good on that project, at least for the time being. So that'll be really exciting to get done. So to motivate me, I actually got this book for Christmas about Cressy, one of the battles of the early Hundred Years' War. So my hope is, this will be a good reading book to inspire me. Um, and this, I think, there's not a lot to do with this, so um, I'm not sure when it'll get done, but it'll be like a day really of work. I can get this done in basically one good Saturday. All right, so our next project, Project 3, finishing out the early and middle Imperial Romans. So for the early Imperial Romans, basically all I have to do, and this project is entirely complete, basically, unless I want to add artillery, which there isn't, I don't know, there isn't artillery on the market that I love right now. Um, so all I have to do to actually finish this project is my auxiliaries. So a lot of it is painted. I'm just reorganizing them to be like this, how you can see on this style of basing. Um, so I just need to do 4 cohorts. Most of it is painted already, just differently based. So I just have to rebase and then actually fill in the ranks with a few extra models for those. That'll be done. The next thing is auxiliary archers. I got some of these more to assemble, some more to paint, but that shouldn't be too difficult. So that'll wrap up the early Imperial Romans, and then I got some command bases to do as well. Middle Imperial Romans, only 12 more infantry, 12 cataphracts. Actually, I think this is actually 16 infantry. 16 more infantry, 12 cataphracts, a command base, and a couple artillery bases. The Middle Imperial Romans will be done as well, at least for now. I'm not really doing them on the same scale that I did the early Imperial Romans. All right, World War II. So this, I'm not planning on buying all this stuff and getting all this stuff done for the birthday. That actually is a Panzer IV, excuse me. So really what I'm just gonna get done, I think, is the Panzer IV. The other stuff, the stuff that I want over time, I don't know that I'm gonna spend the money on it this year since I got the Warhammer stuff. Um, but yeah, I think the Panzer IV would be nice. But what I do want to do to expand my late war stuff is basically have everything I need for any scenario I want to run. So M3, that should be M10. Obviously, losing my mind, the half tracks are the M3s. But for my Americans, currently with the infantry, I have enough for either the regular infantry platoon or the mechanized infantry platoon. So for the mechanized one, I would like to get enough half tracks for it to be fully mechanized. I would like to have a full platoon of Shermans as well. An M10 tank destroyer platoon too, couldn't go wrong with that. Crew figures, I do really like the Empress crew figures, so I want to use those. For my Germans, similar. Actually, for both armies, what I really need is anti-tank guns. And I'll talk about that in a moment. And the Germans, just more vehicles. And actually, currently I have them set up as Panzer Grenadiers. It wouldn't be bad to get enough infantry extras to have them. Could be regular infantry also. All right, so my a big inspiration for that project was I read this book, Normandy 44 by James Holland. Oops, by James Holland, and that I really learned a ton. I didn't actually know that much about the Normandy campaign until I read that book. I have this one sitting on my bookshelf ready to read as well. So that's kind of inspiration for this project, and that leads into the anti-tank guns. I really did not realize how much of a key role they actually played in the Normandy campaign until I read this book, and it seems like really the anti-tank guns are underappreciated for the role they played. It seemed like they're actually extremely important. So I do want to get especially the American anti-tank guns, which you almost never hear about, I feel like, but they actually played an incredibly major role in the conflict. So I would like to get some American anti-tank guns as well as the Pak 40, which I just love for the Germans. I love the look of the Pak 40. All right. Last thing I would like to get done is I'd like to get another Barbarian warband done. So if you can kind of see this bases, I would like to get another 4 bases of warbands done before May 26th, basically. Whether that might be a stretch with all these other things, but that's something I'd like to do. On the plus side, I do have a full, at least 4 bases worth primed up, ready to go. Probably more than that, actually. I've got a lot more sitting on the sprue as well. But I would like to get more warbands done. At least one warband done. We'll see if that one happens. Um, I think it's actually fairly achievable. So mainly what we're trying to do miniature wise is just wrap up some projects. The Barbarians is going to be ongoing probably for another 2 years, possibly even. Actually, yeah, for the full Barbarians, probably another 2 years worth of work at least to get all the armies that I'm looking for that are kind of associated with that. All right, so now for the fitness, health, outdoor goals. So, um, these are kind of my goals. So, in terms of lifting weights, I've got long arms and long femurs, so I actually suck at bench press. I suck at overhead press. I suck at squats. The only lift I'm actually really good at is deadlifting, where having long arms isn't as much of a um, weakness, I guess, inbuilt weakness. I love deadlifting is my favorite lift. No problem progressing with that one. But the bench press is one I struggle with. So really what I want to do is I really want to press 225 pounds for my birthday, May 26th. That would be the best birthday present I could give myself. And if I just get 1 rep, that's okay. But ideally, I'd like 225 to be my working weight for reps for my birthday. The other goal too, overhead press is definitely my favorite lift. I'm not very good at it, but it is my favorite one personally. So for overhead press, I would like to be pressing 135 pounds. Ideally, again, for reps, if I just get 1 rep, that's okay. But ideally, for multiple reps for my birthday. So my birthday is May 26th, so we got about 20 weeks from the time I'm releasing this video to achieve these goals, which I think I might get there for the overhead press. Bench press, we'll see. I'm a lot closer to overhead pressing 135 than I am bench pressing 225. Is kind of where I feel like, and I just love this overhead pressing. So I don't know. I feel like the overhead pressing sessions go better for me. The other thing I want to do is over the summer, I want to hike the Long Trail. So that is a 272-mile long hike. So I want to do that probably in 4 sections over the summer, 4 or more sections. So it'll be a total of maybe like 22 to 30 days of hiking. So in order to get in shape for that, my goal is to basically hike a mountain at least every other weekend, just to get back in the zone of hiking. So I haven't really done as much since I had my hip surgery. And then for my cardio, I've been really bad about doing cardio for the past few months. It's what I always do weights first and then don't neglect the cardio. So my goal is to really do 150 minutes total at least of cardio per week. So that 150 minutes is kind of like a minimum amount that I would like to do per week. And then of that 150 minutes, I would at least like one 60-minute or 1 hour session of zone 2 cardio per week. So that is steady state cardio, which has, so that's actually easier, but just easier for longer. And that has certain, health benefits associated with it. It's just boring, but it's important to do. The crazy thing is when I was in college, I was probably doing at least 8 to 12 hours of steady state cardio on top of speed work when I was an actual athlete. All right, so this is what the long trail looks like. It's runs across the entire length of my home state. So back when I was younger, I was a huge avid backpacker. I did a number of trips, which all stopped when I started, my hip problems. I tore my hip. Now that it's surgically repaired, it's still kind of weak. Not weak, but just not great. But I do, at least I think I'm at the point where I could undertake something like this. So this trail is 272 miles long. You can see it runs basically across the spine of these mountains, the Green Mountains. So I live over here, and I'm actually from right here. This is where my parents live. My family lives. I live up here. So I think this will be a great experience to just hike the entire length of the state. It's something I've always wanted to do. I feel like if I don't do it this summer, I'm basically like never gonna do it. So this map, obviously, you don't really, I like this one because it kind of shows all the topographic relief and the bodies of water and everything. But this map, a little more plain Jane, but you can kind of see the sections. So yeah, ideally, I don't think I'm gonna do it entirely in a row. That's like 22. If you do 12 miles a day, you can do it in 22 days. This section down here is a lot less rugged. Um, I'm sure I could do more than 12 miles a day actually down there. But 12 miles a day here is a lot easier than 12 miles a day here. And I'm pretty familiar with this area, and it can be pretty brutal and steep, to be honest. So, I think I don't know how exactly I'm gonna do it. This section is gonna take longer. Probably gonna struggle getting. I mean, I think I could do 12 miles a day. It's also about what my hip can take because of like the steepness and everything. But I do want to, so that is something I do really want to do over the summer. I know a lot of the slide stuff is not wargaming related, but it's kind of part of the hobby stuff. So that's enough rambling from me. Hobby update over. What you can expect to see soon is hopefully my Space Marine showcase. And I've really loved these models, so I want to, I'll probably be doing more Space Marines in the future, to be honest. But that's probably the next showcase you can expect from me. And then after that, probably gonna start on the orcs. I've got some other stuff too. I bought the new Cadians that GW released in this moment of madness and weakness. But that's about it for me. Take care and hope to see you soon.